Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special preview here for Stardom, the Conversion 2025. I am your host, as always, Scott E. If you're listening to this early on the YouTube channel, thank you for doing so. If you're listening here now on the podcast just a day before the official show, I appreciate you as well. But as I often do with the weekend pay-per-views or the weekend major pay-per-views for Stardom, I am back to talk this show, the first true pay-per-view since All Star Grand Queendom 2025. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But the conversion is here, as we know, based on last year. Big things can happen at this very show. And I'll just start it off here. Let's start it off the rip. Let's rip the bandage off. I expect some sort of big surprise at this show. Um, I'll honestly be shocked if we don't get one. I have some ideas, I have some possibilities, but I think there's a good chance at a big time surprise because I think they are trying to make the conversion seem like that kind of show, right? Last year was the end of Queen's Quest as we knew it. That was a big time moment, obviously. We do have a unit battle. Perhaps it happens there. We have some championship matches. We have some potential championship challengers, maybe. Uh, who knows? But I do think that a surprise is on the way. But we're going to get into this card match by match here because we like to, like I said, get these out early, get them to you so you know what to look for coming up on the upcoming show. It looks to be a very solid show, especially with the final two matches being as strong of a two-match duo as you can have really on any show, which I'm most excited about. So let's get into it, shall we? Stardom the Conversion 2025, main evented by the IWGP Women's Championship match. But before we get there, we start at the very top of the card for the conversion, which is Waka Tsukiyama going one-on-one with Yuri Hime. When the match was made at the time, this was just kind of like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. Didn't know it needed a big announcement, but that's fine because it was part of the press conference while three other matches were not. Um, but this match will ultimately serve as a preview tag of sorts heading into the New Blood Tag Team Championship match where Yuri Hime will team with Momo Kogo to take on Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama. Should be a fine undercard match. If you listen to the normal episode this week, I will have plenty of praise for Yuri Hime, but I do think that it's right to praise her here as well. She is making the correct strides you want to see. I think her joining Stars, joining Hanan, joining Momokogo, joining Saida, joining that faction is a great addition. That was the faction I wanted to see her join. I liked the chemistry that her and Saida found together. So, yeah, I think it's a perfect spot for her. I'm a big fan of it, and it's the right way to go. So, welcome to Yuri Hime. She's not going to probably win this match. Waka's the veteran, obviously, but I do have high hopes for them maybe winning those New Blood Tag Team titles. Another undercard match here. You'll have Aya Sakura, Sayaka Karara, and Yuna Mizumori teaming up. They'll take on Momo Kogo, Emma Mishima, and Kikyo Furusawa in trios action. I would like moving forward on Stardom shows. Can I get more for Aya Sakura? Listen, we got a trick, right? Obviously, like the conversion in terms of a major pay-per-view is a Stardom major pay-per-view. I know Natsu Saory happened, and I know I said earlier, but that was not a Stardom show. That was them. And ultimately, what I'm talking about here when it comes to Aya Sakura is that she has proven she's ready for more, right? I know she has the Sendai Girls Junior Championship, but there's more to it than that, right? Sayaka Kurara got her big opportunity. She won the Cinderella Challenge for the World of Stardom Championship. I think Aya Sakura is more than ready for a next step opportunity. I don't know what that necessarily is. Even if it's just them challenging for the tag belts, I would love to see it. Either one, either one. I just want them to get pushed more and more because they deserve it. But overall, Nonetheless, I will say this should be a fun little undercard trios match. Shouldn't get too much time, but I'm sure the Cosmic Angels will be getting the win here. We'll then have a singles match between Hanako and Risa Sera. Kind of a random singles match to toss on the show, but for those who don't know, Hanako was formerly known as Fella Risa back in 2022. She wrestled as like a taller version of Risa Sera, if I remember correctly. She actually had a handful of matches as part of the Prominence brand before eventually joining Stardom and becoming a wrestler there when she would ultimately, right, become one of their trainees. So that's really the connection here between the two sides. And it's a match. It's a singles match to give Hanako something. So I'm not going to complain about that because ultimately going into the conversion, I was looking for some sort of match. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I do know that Risa Sera is retiring, so maybe that's part of the reason they went with this match. Obviously, from their short but previous connection that they had. Maybe this is also the start of Risa Sera coming back around as her career closes out. Maybe she'll have a few more Stardom dates in the meantime. But that is your singles match. I would assume Risa Sera wins. I can't see Hanako getting the win, but obviously, if you're Stardom, you should be wanting Hanako to get the win. She's going to be the one here tomorrow and the next day and the next day. She is part of your roster. I don't know what this accomplishes other than, again, maybe just having them face off before Risa Sera retires. This was an exciting ad. An exciting ad, I thought, for a random match on the card. It'll be Hazuki and Koguma, FWC versus Natsuko Tora and Ruaka. Listen, I had my thoughts very, very clear on last week's 5-star that you can check out at any time because there are what I would call obvious frustrations, I think, when it comes to FWC and the lack of direction, the lack of purpose for them. They are just kind of there on each and every show. But if there's going to be a time for me to get hopeful of what they're going to do, it's this, right? They are, to me, going to be at their best when they are in a tag team match going against BMI 2000. I'd like this to serve as an unofficial contenders match. I think that's always a good direction, right? Have BMI 2000 probably get the win unless Syuri and Natsu are winning the belts. Then maybe you can have FWC be their first challengers. But wherever this goes, I would love there to be something for Hazuki and Koguma to start digging their teeth into. Hell, even start to tease they might join Hate. I know that Hate doesn't need it. Hate doesn't need it. And I'm not saying I want them in Hate either, but I'm just asking for anything at this point. Someone as talented as Hazuki should not just kind of be there and doing nothing outside of her wave dates. It's just not enough. She should be doing so much more. So I'm hoping this match ends up being very good. I like what these two teams bring to the table. Once upon a time, I would be even more excited about how great of a match this can be. So ultimately, I'm just hoping for it to be good here in the undercard. And then you'll have the return of Ami Sourei to the ring. She has been out for a very, very long time. Dealing with, I believe, was it a torn ACL? I believe she was dealing with. This will be her first match officially since July 7th, 2024. So nearly a year out of action. Obviously, she was set for the 5-star Grand Prix last year, but injury kept her out, leading to Rana Yagami taking the spot. So now she returns. She teams with God's Eye, Saki Kashima, Rana Yagami, and Lady C to take on Hate. Saya Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, Rina, and Konami. I had said last week, and I'm kind of gonna go more into it here. I had said on the 5 star last week, which you could check out now if you want to hear more of my thoughts overall. You can check that out over on the YouTube channel. But I had talked about the idea of what is the purpose of Ami Sourei wrestling Saya Kamatani in her return match if you're not gonna maybe consider that as the next challenge for the World of Stardom Championship. Now, I do think it is asking a lot of Ami Sourei to potentially step into a world title match literally a month after being gone for a year, but at this point, I am just asking for direction. I am just asking for what's next when it comes to Saya Kamatani because she has none. And it's insane to me that the most popular wrestler in all of Joshi, the talk of Joshi wrestling, has nothing going on. So I'm kind of pleading here for Ami Sourei to be the challenger. And if Ami Sourei is not the challenger after this match, then let it be someone, anyone after this match. I don't really care who it is. I just want Saya Kamatani to have something. So much of the talking points post All Star Grand Queendom for myself and many others is Stardom's going to be fine, right? No Tam Nakano, no Mina Shirakawa, no Mayu Utani. It's fine. It's fine. They get Saya Kamatani, and they've been fine. Like the attendance is up, all these things that everyone always says, but she shouldn't be directionless. There should be a very obvious direction. You know, my obvious direction is if I have my way, Momo Watanabe. She's literally standing right next to her in this dang graphic. But if that is not the direction pre 5 star Grand Prix, which it shouldn't be, but I'd like to start teasing it, then Ami Sourei is a fine option here at that Sapporo show in July. So that's where I'm at. I still think Hate's winning this match, even though I think Ami Sourei could be challenging. They can pin one of the other three, no problem. But Hate's at full force. Hate doesn't really have anyone in this match that gets pinned a lot. Momo's kind of come back strong. Konami's pretty protected. Rina should be protected, and Saya Kamatani. So the only way Hate's losing, I think, is if Ami pins Saya straight up. So maybe that's a possibility. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Ami Sourei does. Welcome her back after being out for so long. I'm sure she's excited to be back, and we'll see how she looks when she steps in the ring on Saturday. Then we'll have the Future of Stardom Championship match. Hina will defend against Rian. Hina, for what it's worth, is having a very strong run with the Future of Stardom Championship. The 18-year-old sister of Hanan and Rina has had a reign since February, going back to February 24th, when she successfully won the title from Miyu Amasaki at Path of Thunder, which was a really good match. She then had her first defense a month and a half later against Tabata of CMLL. And as we know, at All Star Grand Queendom 2025, she successfully defended the title against Rana Yagami. Now, Rian steps into the match. Rian having come off, I believe, her first singles win against Akira Kuragami to earn this opportunity. She now has a chance to really prove herself against someone like Hina, who's on a roll. When I look at this match and the possibilities of this match and where we may go in this match, I think really the questions are not who's going to win, but can Rian show a bit more? Rian fundamentally is a solid wrestler for her stature and where she is in her career. That being said, you want to see her maybe have a big performance here in terms of the Future of Stardom Championship, right? That's what these title matches are for. Through the years, that is what we've seen with this title. Hina is doing it in real time. When Miyu Amasaki started chasing, you started to see her have strong performances. Sayaka Kara had strong performances. Going back to the Rina reign, obviously Rina was incredible with the championship, but she had such good defenses against so many different wrestlers, including Hina, who had that challenge and really showed out even though she lost, right? There's so many different wrestlers to look at. There's so many different wrestlers possibility wise. So Rian, you don't have to win here. You shouldn't win here because it's way too early in Hina's reign. But if you have a good showing, That's a good conversation point for your future. That's a good moving forward point for your future. At the end of the day, that's what this title's all about, the future. So we're not gonna overly stress the fact that, oh, if this match is fine, that's really all you're looking for is this match to be fine. It's not gonna be a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 star match. No, no, no. But it's about growth. It's about moving forward. It's about showing something, and that's what I'm hoping for here from Rian, while Hina should continue to reign as future of Stardom champion. And then we have what I'd say is the most important match on Stardom the Conversion. Stardom the Conversion has set the tone for what this is supposed to be. And the build up to this show, with the announcement of the conversion, Stardom has played up the idea of anything can happen. Over the past year, we have learned very quickly that Stardom the Conversion is the set point for stories moving forward. It was last year that Queen's Quest disbanded at this very show, which of course led to Saya Kamatani joining Hate and becoming the biggest star in Stardom. So it's fair to say, it's fair to assume that Stardom the Conversion 2025 is going to be very important, and you're gonna rightfully look at the unit match as that point. Neo Genesis versus Me Vida Loca is set, and there is no match, there is no team, there is no person that needs this match to hit a certain level in terms of not only greatness, but directionally than Me Vida Loca. I can't talk about it much more than I already have. Me Vida Loca's rollout has not been good. And similarly enough, this match rollout has been just as confusing, right? This match set the stage really a month ago. This all began pre All Star Grand Queendom, right? Suzuki leaves Neo Genesis. She then forms her own faction of Mi Vida Loca on the Corkin before All Star Grand Queendom. At All Star Grand Queendom, her and Sera go to war and she wins dominantly, gaining so much momentum. And from there, it's been a bumpy, bumpy ride. Sure, she's missed some shows, but also Mi Vida Loca has just never really been fully intact. It's hard to gain momentum or keep momentum or move forward when two of the four members are never there. Rina Yamashita and Tsuki Aoki are just never here. And I know house shows don't as matter as much as they once did per se, but they do matter. They do matter when it comes to momentum to me. They do matter when it comes to excitement. Mi Vida Loca has been intact so few times, and Mi Vida Loca has mostly just been Suzuki, Akira Kuragane, and whoever joining them. That's can be a problem. That's why I believe, and that's why I said at the beginning of this show, a surprise is on the way. Right? They've set the stage for the conversion to be that. They've set the stage for the conversion to be full of change. Set the stage. Surprise is on the way. I can just feel it. I can feel it. And I feel like if you look at this match, you look at the rule set of what this match has become, and it becomes just that. No DQ, no tags, no touch, lucha style. Everyone can just run in and out, tornado-ish style. That's what this match has become. No DQ obviously works in the favor of Mi Vida Loca. That changes everything for this match. It changes the output. It changes where we're going. And this match is the semi-main event according to Stardom's website. I know I have it here as third to the top because we're going to talk about the top two title matches. But this is in the semifinal spot, just like last year with Queen's Quest versus Oedo Tai. And speaking of those matches, if they're trying to tell you, hey, this is going to be important, They are uploading unit battles from the past 2 years. The 2023 match of the year, that steel cage match where Tommy Hayashishita and Saya Kamatani came back together to save Queen's Quest and keep it intact. That match is uploaded on the Stardom YouTube channel right now. Maybe last year's will be too, when Momo faked switching and then, of course, helped cost Queen's Quest. And then, that led to Saya Kamatani going down the path she has. But this match, this faction, Mi Vida Loca, needs something. So I look at the landscape. I look at what's going on. Could it be one wrestler? Could it be two wrestlers? I feel like someone is going to join Mi Vida Loca one way or the other in this match to help them get the edge, because moving forward, Mi Vida Loca needs to be more intact than they are. You can still have Rina Yamashita and Tsukiyoki be part of the group, but I will bring them up again. FWC is sitting right there. They are the answer to this problem. There is an edge there from the likes of a Koguma that I feel like we have never dove into. I know people love the comedic side, but you check out the Seedling show from this week. She showed that edge against a rookie. Then there's Hazuki. I will do anything to get that edge from Hazuki back. Listen, they wrestled earlier in the night. A failure to BMI 2000 should simply be what sets them off, sets them down a path where they can be violent, where they can be nasty, and where they can support someone like a Suzu Suzuki. Right? When they didn't win the Artist of Stardom championships, them being Mi Vida Loca, to me, it set the stage of, okay, that's odd, because, a way to establish them was maybe to give them titles. But if Yamashita and Aoki aren't going to be the main part of this crew, maybe FWC still can be. I'm holding out hope until this match is over. Then I'll give up. But I feel like there's at least the possibility. Or it could just be someone else. We don't know. There is also the opportunity. Could someone on Neo Genesis turn their back and join with Suzu Suzuki? That's always a possibility. We watched it last year. We've seen it before. We've seen it teased. I don't think I would do anything like that with Neo Genesis. Starlight Kid, Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, and Sera. That is a great faction. That is the best faction in Stardom right now. Leave them as is. But there's always that possibility. Ultimately, this match is building one thing, and that is Suzu Suzuki to be the ultimate challenger for Starlight Kid when we get to July, because July has 3 major shows before the 5-star Grand Prix begins on the 27th. Those 3 shows includes the Stardom Korakuen on the 6th, Sapporo Rendezvous 2025 on the 21st, and the Niter in Korakuen on the 24th. As we also know, when it comes to Stardom, as we also know when it comes to this match, is that Starlight Kid versus Suzuki being on that Sapporo show is the same place that Natsupoi won the Wonder of Stardom Championship last year. It's the same place that Saya Kamatani joined Hate, and Hate became a unit, and Natsuko won the World of Stardom title. That show matters. That is a big show for them. They have also set the stage for that. So the conversion is the bringing us to that point a month away. Starlight Kid versus Suzuki for the Wonder Stardom Championship. That's the direction. That's the obvious direction. It's the right direction. Whoever wins that match, that's a conversation for another day. But to get us there, to make it make sense, you need Mi Vida Loca, you need Suzu Suzuki to get a massive, massive win here. Everything is set for them to win. Everything is set for them to succeed, right? No DQ. The last time we did the no DQ was Sera and Suzuki. Boy, oh boy, did that work. That match was tremendous, and it set the stage for what we were hoping was a momentous run for Suzuki. Obviously, it hasn't been as easy as we would have liked, but we can bring that back up here. Stardom the Conversion 2025 is a show that Stardom has told you things change, things happen. They told you that last year, and they've told you that since. So with this match, that is coming. This is the most important match on the show in terms of Stardom's next steps. This is the most important match on the show when it comes to someone actually needing to win, and it's going to be fantastic. Neo Genesis is that team. They are the most consistent team in all of Stardom these days. You know they're going to have a great match. And listen, Mi Vida Loca may not be what you want it to be yet, certainly isn't what I want it to be yet, but this is going to be a great, great match. That is, I'm locked in for. I can't wait to see how it goes. I'm hoping that surprise that I've been talking about happens, whether it be FWC or something else. We need something. We need something, and that's what this match is for. That is what they've set the unit matches to be. That's why they are building up the way they have. That's why somehow, despite not being announced at the press conference and the slow rollout of the rules and everything, it's going to be big. It's going to be important. It's very fitting of me, Vida Loca, for everything to go slow. But this is where we're at. This is what we need to do. And what we need to do, what we need to see is me, Vida Loca, having a big time win, setting the stage for this faction to not only be a dominant, successful faction, but for Suzuki to be a dominant, successful leader. Then we have the Goddesses of Stardom championship match. So obviously, if you've been following me the past couple weeks and all the content I made, I've gone kind of all in on Natsu as your kind of top baby face if you want it, right? But Hanan feels like another obvious choice. Starlight Kid as well. That being said, I will never, ever, ever, ever say no to this match. This match is going to be excellent. The only question is a matter of how excellent. You're going to have Saida in there with Natsu Boy. Boy, oh boy, that's magic. You're going to have Hana and Sayori in there. Let's flash it back to last year, All Star Grand Queendom 2024, when Hana challenged for the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Sayori. That match was fantastic. I think that match is very overlooked when it comes to Sayori's reign as champion. It was terrific. It was terrific. So I'm very excited for these two teams. There's a conversation to be had that these are the two best tag teams in the world when they're going, right? We haven't seen Natsu and Saori a lot. They've only tagged once this year, which was the main event of their show, and that match was fantastic. Gori's just been setting the stage, right? Those Goddesses of Stardom titles have been some of the most consistent titles in all of wrestling. You put them on two great wrestlers and they deliver. Saida, I think Saida is ready for a big title match. Hanan obviously ready for a big title match. They're 171 days into this reign as of this recording. There are 3 successful defenses and each match has been great. Mei, Sera, and Suzuki, so they face Crazy Star. That match was great. Mayu Utani and Momokogo, that match was great. And of course, FWC, that match was great. They're going to have a lot of time on this match, right? Top 3 match comfortably on this card. They should get plenty of time to tell their story and to deliver. I have all the hopes in the world, but the question is who wins? I think there's a reality here where a title switch could be upon us. There are a lot of reasons why. Natsu and Saori not being in the singles realm right now isn't something I'm against, because giving them championships while they're very clearly moving forward together as a duo isn't a bad thing. You also have to remember their first tag title reign got cut short because of Natsupoi's injury back in 2023. Right? We didn't get to see that reign. I don't have a problem with that. And you can still have them challenge Saya Kamatani post 5-star very easily. I think that's the other important part of this. We're heading into the 5-star. If Hanan loses, she becomes a massive favorite for that tournament. She becomes a massive, massive favorite. If you pay attention to New Japan at all, I saw a lot of people talk about this. Both Yota Tsuji and Konosuke Takeshita lost their championships at Dominion, setting them up right before the G1 to be the 2 heavy favorites, I think, of that tournament. Well, Hanan loses the tag belt here. I think she becomes the favorite for the 5-star Grand Prix. But the same could be said if Starlight Kid loses the Wonder, right? If she loses the Wonder to Sue Suzuki next month, that also becomes very interesting. I would love Gori to keep on reigning forward, but I have no problem with Natsu and Saori reigning right now if they don't want to go with them in the world title scene. They want to have 2 strong tag team champions, superstar tag team champions that are obviously very popular. I have no problem with that either, because no matter what, the tag belts are going to be in great hands from here. moving forward, I love both of these teams. I think this match is going to be fantastic. I think this match has a chance to not take match of the night. The main event's just too much to overcome, but has a chance to be one of the best tag team matches of the year, if not the best. So should be fantastic. I'm gonna pick Natsu and Saory. I think they get the win here. I think it sets up Hanan for a very, very strong 5-star Grand Prix as well. And then you have Natsu and Saory running the tag division after not getting to do so previously. And hopefully for Saida, because we haven't talked about Saida. Hopefully that sets her up for a potential Wonder of Stardom championship match, maybe post 5-star Grand Prix. And then your main event, the IWGP Women's Champion. Listen, I know a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but I have stuck to my guns and I am going to continue sticking to my guns. It wouldn't be right if I was picking anyone else as is, right? It wouldn't be right if I wasn't picking Sareee to win the championship. It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be me if I was doing that. Sareee and Mayu Iwatani. That is the list. That is my list of people I am always going to be rooting for over everyone. That's just the truth. That's just always the truth. And I'm doing it once again here. Saree's destiny is the IWGP Women's Championship. She has been looking at this championship for well over a year. Last year, she came up short against Mayu Iwatani at All Star Grand Queendom 2024. She's not coming up short a second time. Syuri and Sareee went to a draw at Sareeism earlier this year in a fantastic match of the year contender quality bout. Chapter 7, to be exact. That match set the stage for this match. That match set the stage for something special. I think this is going to be something special. If we walk out of this show seeing anything less than the match of the year, I'll be shocked, or at least one of the matches of the year. I have a long list. Sareee and Mayu Iwatani take up a lot of it. I know, shocker. Saya Kamatani and Tam Nakano part of it. Obviously, the list goes on. You can check that if you want. My list is there. It's not hard to find. I love Syuri. I really do. I consider her one of the greatest of all time. But my connection and my appreciation for Sareee, this is her time. It sucks. It sucks that Shuri's reign would have to end here because I agree with everyone that has commented for the past number of months to me that Syuri should get a long, strong reign. I couldn't agree more. But she is running into Sareee. She can win it back from Sareee. She can be the one to take it back, become the two-time IWGP Women's Champion. I wouldn't have a problem with that whatsoever. But Sareee is destined for this. This is Saree's championship as far as I'm concerned. It has been her championship. She felt like the person that was going to beat Mayu Iwatani. That didn't happen. I don't see her having to wait longer past Saturday. I just don't see it. This match is going to be sensational, phenomenal. Match of the year contender guaranteed. There will be a winner this time. We're not going to a draw. We are getting a winner. We are getting the Sun God. We are getting Syuri. We are getting one of the best matches you may ever see. That's how special these two are as wrestlers. That's how great these two are as wrestlers. They told you the first part of their story at Sareeism Chapter 7. Now they are going to tell you the next part of their story, potentially the last part of their story, here with the IWGP Women's title on the line, STARDOM THE Conversion 2025. I am picking Sareee to win in a match that I have had circled since the moment they went to a draw. It was a guarantee that they would face off once again with this championship on the line. At least that's how it always felt to me. I just didn't know who was going to be the defending champion in that match. Sareee is determined. She does not care who she upsets. She does not care who she angers on the way to the top. She just knows she's got to get back to the top. This is the reigning Tokyo Sports Women's Wrestling Grand Prize winner for a reason. She remains one of the talks of the wrestling world for a reason. I will say this, though. If and when, which I expect, if I'm wrong, it is what it is. But if Syuri loses this championship, she needs to be on track to eventually facing Saya Kamatani for the World of Stardom title. I do not want Syuri going back to a nothing role that she was essentially in all of 2024 and pretty much until Sareee called her for Sareeism. You know, like that is where I'm at. We can't have that again. Syuri is too great of a wrestler to be in that role. This is too great of a match for her to be in that role. This is too great of a matchup. You're going to want to run it back. You should run it back because right now, while it's 0-0-1, one win should not define this new rivalry. But I'll say it once. I'll say it once more. Sareee, the Sun God, that is my pick to take the IWGP Women's Championship here in the main event of the conversion. And another big reason why I don't think this show is main eventing this show if it's not taking the gold, if it's not Sareee getting the big win. So that's where I'm at. I've watched Sareee do this before, enter a main event where she is doubted for a championship. I saw it last year. And I picked her to win that. I'll pick her to win here again. The Sun God, IWGP Women's Champion. But before that, I will say on Thursday, if you are so interested, over on Fightful's YouTube channel, I will be talking with the one and only Sareee in an exclusive interview, talking about this match, talking about Saya Kamatani, talking about Sareeism, training, so many different other things. You can go check that out on Thursday. It will be live on the Fightful YouTube channel. I'm super duper proud of it. Sareee is just the best. She's truly, truly the best. It was lovely getting to talk to her once again for another interview. So definitely check that out. It will be on the YouTube channel. This is not a written one. This is indeed a video one. So make sure you check that out. But with that, that is Stardom the Conversion 2025. A show that on paper is top heavy, but a show that on paper should be great. A show that on paper, based on last year, should have something big. Maybe the something big is just the changing of the IWGP Women's title. All these possibilities are in order, but I will say this. I'm very excited for the big three matches on this show. I'm hoping some of the undercard maybe surprises. This should be a fun show. Starting the conversion this Saturday, available on pay-per-view. The show starts at 3 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday morning. For those interested, of course, it'll be available on pay-per-view. So, thank you everyone for listening to this preview. Like I said, if you are here, this will be the preview that is on the 5 Star Joshi Show this week. I just wanted to get it out early before the show because, like I said, within hours of my podcast that comes out on those days, it will be late news. So we want to get the preview out. We want to get it done. Thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate you listening. We'll be back next week. We have a lot of content coming out the next few weeks. So, like I said, check out the Sareee interview on Fightful, but check out the Shino interview on Fightful.com with Marigold Shino, as I said last week. But next week, we'll have a special 5-star thing that has been an annual tradition that will be up during the week before the 5 Star Joshi Show. 5 Star Joshi Show, by the way, out this Friday, as always, each and every Friday. In 2 weeks, I have a new series starting here on the channel that you should look forward to as well. And hopefully in 3 weeks, that beginner's guide to Marigold will officially be out. We're working on it now, hoping to get it done. So much to look forward to, so much excitement in the air from myself, from the world of Joshi. So I hope you're all ready for that. Once more, I thank you very much for joining me. I thank you very much for the support. Please leave a like. Please subscribe. And let me know what you think. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you're thinking about the conversion. What match are you most looking forward to? Who's winning, Syuri or Sareee? What are you expecting a surprise on the show because of what the conversion was last year, like myself? Let me know. Let me know below. I always appreciate it. So, with that being said, so long, farewell. Thank you for listening. Check out the Five Star Show this week. We'll talk a little bit about the house shows from this past weekend from Stardom. We'll be talking about Marigold's stuff, including the Dream Star Grand Prix and so much more, and anything else going on in the wonderful world of Joshi. Until next time, everyone, so long. See you later. Bye bye.